Okay, welcome back to Highfleet. Things were tense last time, but we came out with a win, and I'm pretty happy with that. My commiserations to the families of the pilots that died in the assault on the Strike Fleet Granite. That was a noble sacrifice that they made and had nothing to do with the ineptitude of their commander ordering them to fly somewhere they could return from and then failing to recover them. But that's the last time I'm going to mention that. Let's take stock for a second. Let's just slow things down slightly. First of all, let's just quickly clear the map. Let's get rid of all of these markers I added. They're not necessary right now. And let's just look at what we have going on here. So in Carcamesh at the moment, we have one of our Skylarks. It's currently associated with any fleets. It's a free agent right now. In ACTAG, we have our Strike support fleet and the Rooster. So one of the things we're going to do is link the Rooster up with a Skylark and send it out to work again. If we head down here, we have the Sevastopol, which is currently running to Zartana. I don't think we need to do that anymore, so I'm going to change that slightly. We're actually going to run it to Suva. We're going to see what's for sale in Suva, and we can get some planes there or some nice mercenaries. And I want to have a look, another just quick attempt to have a look for the hidden city that I believe is somewhere in this open area of the map. We're going to use a couple of different techniques to do that. I'm going to send a Lightning and Skylark out to look for it. And I'm also going to send out a scout plane to see if I can spot it with a plane, because I've never tried to do that before, and a couple of people asked me if I could do it, so let's find out together. Let's not forget, we also have a fleet over here in Kua. This is the Lone Badger and its Skylark companion, and they are currently in a little bit of limbo, because we know that there is a strike group, probably somewhere actually. Let's do a nice little, I like doing a wee loop. Somewhere around here, there's a strike group. The strike group Varyag, which we last saw 32 hours ago in Masada. Strike Group Varyag, I hope is just a name. I've intimated a few times that the name Varyag is a little bit worrying. Hopefully we don't find out what it means, because a Varyag is a scary prospect. It's a type of ship. But I want to keep it a secret for those of you who don't know, so I'm not going to go into too much more information about it. But what I want to talk about now is just what our next plans are, because we're sitting in a situation where we've got a reasonable amount of money. We've won a fight. I want to take the opportunity to ghost away from this area of the map here, because it's undoubted that the what's the name of this group? No, they're up. Where are they? Where's our aircraft carrier group? Yeah, these guys, Renegade. Our aircraft carrier group is going to be heading down to Masada at this point, or probably is already at Masada. The enemy just lost a strike fleet outside Tabal. They're going to want to deal with that. We could assault Tabal. We already know the garrison here is extremely weakened, and taking Tabal is a minor objective because it's actually a restart point should we fail the campaign. But you know what? Tabal can wait. We're not in a rush, and that's one thing that is very easy to get kind of caught up in, is the rush to complete this game. A couple of very easy orders. I'm going to tell the Sevastopol to head to Suva and wait there for us. I could send them to Ashkelon, but I've sat around in Ashkelon a bit too much recently, and it probably is going to take too long for it to turn dangerous. So I head to Suva and also check to see what we've got in the way of potential allies. The fleet at Kua has an important job. If you remember last time, and we go into the ship works, they are carrying 6 A100 missiles. I want to get those to the strike fleet so that they can use them to resupply going forward, because they're a much better missile than the KH-15. Also, it's been pointed out to me, something I was unaware of, you don't actually pay to install the missiles. It just shows you how much it would cost if you were buying them from the store. But if you already have the item in your stock, you don't pay anything. So it's actually just the cost of the missile. That's a huge bonus. I thought I was paying 3,000 every reload, but that shows you how tense things were. I don't think this fleet needs to run over. If we remember, there is a Tarkhan north of Kushan, which is this city here. So he's probably in Haran, which is actually a free city at the moment. It's actually empty. I could try and ghost up here with this fleet and just see if they have any idea where the strike fleet is, because if the strike fleet is pulled away, I could dip in, check out the Tarkin and fly away, and that's actually what I kind of want to do. But I want to complete an objective on the way as well. So I'm thinking that I'm going to fly into Shaybad, capture Shaybad, make a bit of money, refuel, obviously maybe make a bit of noise there as well. I've got to make a decision on whether I want to let the silent strike alarm fade away or not. And that's probably actually what I want to do here. So I'm actually going to send this fleet northward, see if they can detect the strike fleet, make a decision based on where we detect the strike fleet. And then on the way back, we might hit Shaybed when the silent strike alarm has run out. Over here, let's get moving. Let's start doing stuff. Let's unpause the game. ACTAG fleet, I want to get restocked. Let's send out none of my aircraft are ready yet, but that's fine. I'm going to send out a Lightning. Let's close this. The Rooster has a job to do. If we zoom in on the map, we're going to start looking for this hidden city. If we zoom all the way in, are there any roads? It's a bit hard to see because it's nighttime. At the moment, I can see a road here that might be heading southward. That's probably the road we're trying to follow before. It also looks like there's a road here. So I'm going to send them this way. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to order this Skylark, which was probably going to refuel first. The nice thing is the Lightning can just kind of float around a bit while the Skylark refuels. So we just get enough fuel to, you know, it's got to cost nothing really to refuel it. We'll put about this much fuel in. We'll let them refuel, and then they'll join the Skylark, the Lightning, the Rooster. There we go, in the air. Now just check this Rooster has a decent amount of fuel. I'm actually just going to change that slightly. Let's put him back in the fleet because he hasn't left yet. We'll select the Lightning, the Rooster, and we'll just make sure that we're actually putting 100% fuel in his engine. And I'm not going to fly him any further than his max. Actually, he can fly further because the Skylark's going to join him. So we'll just zoom in again. We're going to have to keep coming back to them. There's going to be a lot of zooming in and out while we try and find the city. And we'll just head here to start with. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is once my planes have returned and rearmed, I'm going to send one out to scout as well. Let's send this fleet up to about here, just so they can start using their ELINT, and we'll unpause the game. Now, the fleet that's currently in ACTAC, I don't want to leave them there for too long, but I want to get the planes in and reset. Did I remember to reload the yards? Let's just confirm that. Go into the shipwork here. The yards has been reloaded. We could, if we wanted, we could potentially purchase this this longbow if we can get the money together. The other thing I wanted to check really quickly, actually, was I wanted to see if we could actually loot the corpses that we destroyed, the strike fleet. So let's just get enough fuel to fly out and in, and we'll just send them up this way to see if they can find the wreck. So we have to zoom in a little bit on a few different fleets. So these guys are following this road here. Just see what they can find. So this is your main way of finding a hidden city. We're basically looking for a big conurbation like this. Anywhere that the roads meet up. We've picked up a radio signal with this fleet. So just see what this radio is. I didn't talk about this minigame before. First of all, we need to select our radio band. Then we need to tune the radio to the right frequency. You can use them. Oh, yeah, the game doesn't pause when you start on tuning. Got a bit of a jump when I heard the landing alarm, but that's okay. We'll sort that in a minute. Somewhere over this way. Here we go. I found it. So you wait till your signal strength is high enough. Then when you reach signal strength high enough, you use the directional finder to get a strong signal. And you know the direction that the signal is in, somewhere around here. And when it's strong enough, you'll be able to save the signal. So our signal says Sapphire is going at speed 90, now heading north, asked to arrange medical treatment for Varyag. Alright, that's an interesting one. Now, I'm probably wrong about this, but my sort of internal thinking is the bandwidth. It relates to how far away this message is coming from. It probably doesn't, and someone who's an expert in military radio or just radio operation will come and correct me on this. But that's my belief. So my thought here, sorry for that noise, is that there is a fleet called Sapphire traveling at speed 90 in this direction, which kind of points towards Kem and Masada. Interesting to talk about arranging medical treatment for something at Varyag. No, what this is Varyag messaging Sapphire. I'm not too sure, but they're in this area moving at speed 90. So that's maybe something just worth noting down just for future reference. I'm not going to record the bearing or anything, but we'll just write down that Varyag possibly is at speed 90. Putting notes on the map is a very useful tool, but that also means they're probably not near Haran here, which is great. Let's just right click to get off this tool. We'll zoom back in on the Lightning. We'll get it to take off again, and we'll just continue following the roads. So there's a bigger city here. I'm actually heading this direction. Just wait for them to take off. Let's check the Skylark as well. I don't want to lose track of it. Just see what they're looking at for roads. There's no real roads going south of the city, so we'll actually come back around to this city here. Just need to find out what we can find, because finding a pin city right now would be a huge boon to us. Traveling at night, I find, isn't too bad because the roads show up quite well in the darkness against the desert. It's almost like there's lights running along them, which of course there isn't because this is a desert wasteland, but it feels like that. Let's just pause for a second, just check on the Skylark. Wow, so much interference on our display here. Let's just see. I want to check to see if we can spot the wreckage of the strike fleet. We probably can't, to be honest, but I just want to see if we can maybe do that. These guys here have finished refueling, so I want to get them to join up with the Lightning. These guys are moving up. They're not picking up anything on ELINT yet. We'll move them to here. He's coming into land at Suva. These guys now will probably have their... No, the planes still haven't finished. Okay. And just zoom back in here. I'm trying to maybe do a couple of too many things at once. Because this requires so much of my attention. I can't keep enough attention on this Skylark. What I'm hoping to find is just some fires in the desert, which I'll be able to loot from. I'm not sure I can, but I don't think anyone's actually tried to loot from a wreck that they've shot down with missiles before. So let's see if we can find anything. I got excited there. That's okay. That's okay, Piotr, because I have fuel coming in to help. Let's just check on here. The strike was somewhere in this area. It was slightly to the north. Maybe a little bit further north. Somewhere around here. It might be a bit easier to look for this in daytime, but I don't think we're going to find it. I might send a couple of planes out. Unfortunately, I don't think anything's going to mark it on the map. I think it might actually appear as a point of interest, because I have come across a wreck that I've left and come back to before. Nothing on Eland yet, although they don't have enough fuel. Notice I didn't check they had enough fuel to make it all the way to... Oh, they probably did, but I moved them around. So let's just quickly drop off at Nahor and get some fuel. They're coming into land. Let's just check what's going on here. We've got this conurbation here. I got excited when I saw this because there's a lot of clouds around it, and the clouds usually indicate that the clouds kind of look like buildings. Yeah, sorry about the takeoff land animations constantly pinging off. We'll just tell him to fly to here. We'll pause the game again. We'll check in with this. Where is he? Where's my other Skylark? Here. So he's actually landed. The problem is it may have been too long as well since the action happened and the wreck may have faded away. I'm not seeing anything. I should have marked the location. So next time we do this, I'm going to give up on this search because I don't want to put this guy into too much danger. Next time we do this, I am going to... Oh, here we go. This is interesting. There's a lot showing up here. Yes, we found the hidden city. Okay, excellent. So just to reiterate what we did, we followed the roads until we have found on the mark a bigger collection of buildings and a marking saying hidden people. This is great news. I'm so happy about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to consolidate our fleet here. Does the Sevastopol? Yeah, the Sevastopol has enough fuel. We're just going to fly straight here. And we're going to get this fleet here as well. Ooh, they just have enough fuel. Let's just refuel them a little bit more. I don't mind if there's not enough fuel in the town because I notice the hidden people are now showing up on my map because I can just shuttle fuel in with my Skylarks if I need to. I'll let them refuel. He's coming back. These guys are landing here. They haven't picked anything up, which is good. And we'll see what happens when we land in the city of the hidden people. The rooster doesn't need to repair, which is great. The hidden people. The city of the hidden people welcomes your squadron with great excitement. Its entire population pours out onto the street to meet you. The children run to and fro with shouts of glee. The men offer you their solemn greetings, and the women rush to you with flowers. The doyen of the city promises to help your squadron in any way that he can. No one fears the gathering here, and everyone wishes for your endeavor to succeed. Oh, wow. Plus 5,000 pound bombs, 4 R9 Sprint AA missiles, 4 KH-15P missiles. The gathering doesn't even know the city exists, and none of our people will give us away, Pyotr Ivanovich says confidently. We're safe here. We can stay here as long as we need to. This place doesn't look half bad. What do you say, Duke? Pyotr looks around the valley. Should we perhaps stay here and found a colony of our own? Half joking, Pyotr grins. You don't remember the last time you saw him in such high spirits. Oh, I can imagine it, Dodd joins in the conversation. You make a fine farmer, General. For those not in the know, Pyotr is an infantry general that was implanted into the fleet by our father, the High Prince, or the Emperor, to oversee us on our first military command. And Dodd was the old admiral of our fleet, but we were promoted above him when, as far as we're concerned, we're the only remaining member of the royal family. So there might be a little bit of tension there. Why not? Pyotr Ivanovich answers unexpectedly seriously. I am an old man, Sharif. Living out my autumn years in peace and quiet doesn't sound bad at all. And that is us in our first hidden city. So nothing for sale up here, which isn't to be unexpected. Let's check the supply window here. They've got a reasonable amount of fuel by the looks of it. We can't actually really tell too much. I'm not going to start refueling yet. Let's have a look what they've got for sale, weapons-wise. We've got 180 laser guided, 130 laser guided, 100 procs, 130 armor piercing, 180 incendiary, 120. So not the best options, really. What about the shipwork? Sometimes they've got rare modules in stock. Nothing here, but we do have the 1,000 pound bombs. We do have the R9 Sprint anti-air missiles, which are hard to use. They're great reloads for our Fennec, which does use these. And we've got some KH-15 anti-radiation missiles, which are great. That's pretty much replaced our losses from the last fight that we had. The hidden people have been extremely nice to us in what they've been able to give us. But we'll let everyone kind of reconnect there. I don't think he's got enough fuel to make it, so he's going to land in Agtag and refuel. Our main sort of topic right now is checking if we get the Tarkin up here without getting caught. So first things first, let's refuel with enough fuel to get Haran and maybe back. because what I don't want to do is get caught in Haran without enough fuel to get out of there if the strike fleet is available. Then I'm just going to quickly check what's for sale here. So we've got a Lightning. I've looked at these ships before. I need to remind myself. We've got, what was this? A Jaguar, which is not a bad chassis for a heavier corvette. There's a Wasp here as well for 21,000, and there's another Jaguar. Okay, interesting. Supplies wise, we already checked this. Well, I do want to check the ammo here. We've got 250 kilogram bombs, which we have 24 of left. We used quite a lot in that engagement. If I buy 31, it's quite a lot of money. Let's maybe just buy 20. And check the shipworks as well. I do this with anything that special here. No, just some stuff I sold. Interesting, you don't very often see aerials for sale, actually. Maybe you do. I don't notice them. That's the better way to put it. All right, let's wait for them to refuel, and we'll send them up to Haran for a daring Tarkin interception. The other reason I want to have lots of fuel is because they may end up in a situation where they have to drag this Tarkin back with them and in a slow ship. So that's the strike fleet landed now in... that's the Skylark landed in... our Hidden People City, which is good, and they can land here for as long as possible, so we can sit and wait for the Rooster to get back to full morale. And the idea is I want to get this fleet over there eventually as well, which won't take as long as you think because the Lightning and the Skylark are fast. So they're just refueling. They should be almost finished refueling soon. Yeah. And once they're done, that's going to be our main focus here, is getting in there and finding this Tarkin. And this is just a session where we're going to try and sort of reestablish everything. So we'll now send them up to Haran. These guys are taking off, I believe. They haven't. No, they've just finished refueling. With the addition of that Skylark, I just want to top the fuel up a little bit more, just to be certain that they've got enough to make it to the Hidden People City. So that's probably going to be enough. I just don't want to end up in a situation where they can't make it and they have to land in the middle of the desert. These guys are on their way. Everyone else is kind of safe or going to be safe very soon. I'm going to wait till they've refueled, send them over, and then we'll zoom in and watch what these guys are doing. I'm so happy I found this Hidden People City. I must have been so close last time. I think I got to about here before I turned my Lightning around. But that's fine. The great thing about this is we can sit in this city and actually probably watch a strike fleet come to Carchemish. Varyag is probably beelining it on a line from Karan straight across, and they're not going to find us because we're not going to be there. Let's check our Elint. Nothing showing up on Elint. We should be well within range of the radar of any fleet that is sitting in Haran. We've already killed the garrison here. We just didn't actually get a chance to land in the city last time because I flew out after finishing looting because I was worried about the strike fleet hitting us. Also, the alarm has gone. We're no longer in silent strike warning. So this is a pretty great situation we're finding ourselves in now. So let's just see how this goes. I can probably clear this. I'm in a really high spirits about what's happening here. We're looking really nice. I'm almost tempted to try and ambush Varyag because we've got the missiles. We need to restock on planes, which I need to look for, but that's fine. We can get the planes. And yeah, like, I can send the Lightnings and the Skylarks out to do shopping trips. We need to make some money. That's the one thing. We're down to 9,000 funds, but we just hit a few more garrisons and make some more money back. So we've landed at Haran with no issues at all. No garrison, no enemies. They didn't reinforce it after we took them out. So now we're on the ground. Let's see if there's a Tarkin. Don't need to land anybody, which is great. And there is a Tarkin. Fantastic. Okay, let's see who it is. So they're flying a Jaguar Mark II, which honestly might be a good starting point for our brawler ship. It'll need some changes, but it's not a bad start. It's got 4 Palash, which is a fantastic active defense module. It's got flares as well for dodging missiles. It's got R6 Nadirs, which are an upgraded anti-ship heat-seeking missile. 180mm double-barreled cannon, and looks like one 37mm minigun, and then it's got some thrusters. It's probably missing. What it's probably missing is standard thrusters. It's very maneuverable in combat, but not great over long distances. But let's see. You are surprised to see an odd group of people approaching you. At least a dozen men, well armored and clad in assault armor. So let's make a note of that. Assault armor. Oh, this guy's amazing. It's Yemlen Gulivav. The men's cuirasses and faces bear the marks of overly long military service, and yet their gold stars are polished to a shine. And the arms they bear, well scuffed, glisten with fresh grease. So what we know about these men, they are career soldiers. They care about their equipment. Looking at the guy's uniform, he has what I believe is a Romani star on his shoulder, which to me makes me feel like he's a strong loyalist. His gun looks insane. Let's have a look. Our options are greetings, my lord. Doesn't really look too lordly to me. In the name of Ishu, peace be with you. I do not think that that is an appropriate greeting for this man. So the only other option we've got is, in the name of the Empire, I welcome you. Now, the reason we've got this thumbs up here, I haven't explained this before, this is our worldview. This is what our men think of us. So our men do not fear us at all. Our men believe that we are very faithful to our homeland, the Romani, and that's pretty much the only thing they think about us. We've got some allies as well, and this is our entire fleet and the morale of all the ships in our fleet, which is interesting to be able to see here. So, and by the way, look how big our fleet is. It's bigger than you think it is. Two options here, either go greetings my lord or in the name of the Empire I welcome you. I'm going to go for the in the name of the Empire I welcome you based on my first impressions, not taking any knowledge I know from outside this playthrough into this discussion. I didn't speak about it a lot when I spoke to Issy, but the worldviews of the Tarkhans you meet are slightly randomized between games, at least in my experience. So this guy might not be the same as I encountered him last time, and I want to kind of deal with it in the way that you might find it the first time you deal with him too. So we'll try talking to him. He liked that. He's a proud Romani. It pleases me to hear this, he says. Your Imperial Highness, permission to introduce myself, Yamilin Guliev. So I can say, Colonel of the Airborne Forces, how did you end up here? Or Colonel, we're assaulting Kiva. Would you care to join us? I don't really care how we ended up here, but I do want him on my side, so let's ask him to join me. You have my full attention. Speak your mind. So I have three options here. I can talk about why we should end the war. I can talk about why the war is necessary, and I can give him a gold elephant. Right now, I can keep the gold elephant in my pocket. It's a way of extending our conversation to try and encourage him to my side. I think this guy's going to be really pro-war, so let's talk to him about why the war is necessary. He appreciates force. That's us up to 2 likes. Okay. He says I speak the truth. I can say this again. And I will not gain the +1 from what I got last time. But because I've picked another good option, I'll get a good speech bonus, and I'll actually gain 1 like from him. It's a complicated system. So you normally get 1 like for a good comment, but if you sort of do a good comment sequentially, like your next comment will get +1 for speaking well, and your next will get +1. So if I say this again, I'll actually get a net gain of 1, even though it says I'm getting -1. So I know that. How the weak appeal to justice to undermine the strong. Well, I know he appreciates force, so he's not going to like this. Of the importance of faith in times of trouble. He has not mentioned anything religious at all in our conversation, so I don't think that's appropriate. Or we could talk about how Sayadi is a good friend and a fearsome foe. This could work. If it doesn't, we can come back to this. So I'm going to pick the of how Sayadi is a good friend. He appreciates fear, but he looks down on me. So my worldview of fear has gone up, but he looks down on me and is outraged. So I've actually lost a lot of goodwill there. That was a very bad pick. I can talk about the witches that await the victor. I can talk about the importance of faith, or I can talk about my deep sense of respect for him. I might go for riches. He loves wealth, and that's put my wealth worldview up as well. Just to try and keep things moving, of the woes that people have to aid them with points of faith, I'm going to say this again, which will get me 1, I believe. No, it didn't get me anything. So I'm going to give him a gift just for some more time. He likes wealth, so he just likes being given a gift. I need 1 more point to get him to join me. So I've got the choice between of the injustice seen throughout Garrett, of the importance of faith, of the decline of the Empire, or my deep respect for him. I'm going to go with my deep respect. Well, maybe not for him in general, but for the clan leaders. Yes, brilliant. I don't know why that icon appeared, but he likes what I just said. I could say this again to gain another +1, but I need +2 to actually get this through. And I don't want to worry. I don't want to make the wrong mistake with my last speech and then lose him as an ally. Because I'm going to start here, he is going to ally with me. So I'm going to just go with ending the talks. Well said, well said. This was a pleasant talk, Duke. So, have you decided? Will you join us? I will join you gladly, Grand Duke. And then I'll tell him, I want to meet other Tarkhans. Where are they? The Tarkhans scattered after the war in Kiva, but I've heard rumors of a Tarkhan living to the northwest. That's interesting. Northwest is quite far off the beaten track, but I'm going to thank him and tell him I appreciate him, and he's just joined me, which is great. He's given me his Jaguar Mark II, which is great, and he's given me 3,000 gold, which is fine. Okay, let's have a quick look at the Jaguar Mark II. So this is the Jaguar Mark II, which we'll need a name for. Oh, I've just remembered I need to rename some of my other ships, which I forgot to take note of before we started playing. I will do it for our next bit of play, I promise. So the main thing about this ship is heavy armor on the sides. It's got lots of fuel tanks. So this is probably the biggest design you'll see that doesn't use... do they have them available for sale here so I can show you? And I don't see them. I'm probably being blind, but there's a bigger fuel tank that you see on the larger ships, or you can see it on the Skylark. These fuel tanks. This is probably the biggest you'll get. Has as I mentioned, 130mm gun, which can't shoot straight up because it is blocked by this gun, which is a massive double-barreled 180mm cannon. It also has Nadir missiles, which are heat-seeking missiles. It has flare launchers, and it also has what are called Palash, which is an active defense system that will fire out flechettes to try and detonate incoming artillery. So it's a pretty nice little ship. I could see some tweaks I could make to it. Biggest issue: top speed is 250 kilometers per hour, not terrible. Range is only 900 kilometers, which isn't particularly far. It uses 354 tons of fuel per 1,000 kilometers. 2.9 thrust to weight ratio. The first thing I would probably do to upgrade this ship is add a couple of where are they? Are these the... No, where are they? There's a... I did not mean by that. D30Ss? Yeah, D30Ss. These are the stationary thrusters. I'll probably try and get 3 in here. That'll give it much better fuel efficiency, better thrust to weight ratio, and much better range, just for a very cheap upgrade. But I don't want to buy that just now. But yeah, that's the Jaguar. So what we need to do is get this fleet from Haran all the way over to our hidden people, and along the way try and pick up some useful stuff. I would like to get them to Kuwa to check the rare modules, but I think it's a little bit out of our way. Best thing to do, I think, is to hit Shaybad and refuel there. So let's buy enough fuel to get them to Shaybad. Shaybad fuel storage, I think that's enough. We'll go a little bit over just to be safe. You can see the consumption of this fleet has gone through the roof since we added this ship, but that's why we've got the Skylarks. And we'll just unpause and let the rest of this happen. So we're waiting for the Actag fleet to make it to the hidden people. The Sevastopol and Fennec are also heading over, and these guys are refueling, which shouldn't take too long, but it's going to be slower because of the now multiple ships that need to refuel. Will take a bit more time. So I know there's not been a lot of action in this episode, but it's actually been a very important bit of playthrough because we are what's the word? Not reconvening, regrouping. We have dealt with a mighty blow to the enemy here, not suffered too many losses. We found a safe haven to repair and rearm, and what I'm probably going to try and do is refit a couple of my ships. The Sevastopol is due a refit, which will take a while, but what I want to do is increase its top speed. And I can do that by shaving some armor off, maybe moving some weapons around, and adding more thrusters, and that will get it moving faster and stop it from being such a hippo of a ship. And then I want to look at maybe refitting the Jaguar into a new type of ship, or potentially refitting the Yars into a new type of ship as well. This fleet, it is important for them to get over here because not only do I want to deliver the Jaguar to the Sevastopol to sit with it for now as a guard, but I also want to get the A100 missiles, if you remember, over to it. So I think we're pushing for a little bit for time, but I think what we're going to do is to end is I'll take Shaybed and we'll attack it with the Lightning and the Jaguar, just so you can see if we need it, the Jaguar in action, and then we'll leave it for there. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. There's not a lot happening. The Strike Fleet has landed with the hidden people, which is great. I'll deal with them later. I'm now going to send the Lone Badger ahead to take Shaybed. I'm just going to send it ahead like this, and then I'm going to send the Jaguar ahead behind it. And the reason I'm splitting them up is so that the Lightning can travel at its max speed and not get dragged behind by the Jaguar. You can see on the map already the differences in speed between these two ships. So if I've got enough, if I can take the town with the Lightning on its own, that's great. I'll do that. Oh, I've actually left the Jaguar behind because it's so slow, so hang on. Let's just pull the Skylark back. The Skylark hasn't got enough fuel to do that. I forgot the Skylark was so much faster than the Jaguar. Does the Jaguar have enough fuel? The Jaguar has enough fuel. Okay, we're going to have to take this with the Lightning because it hasn't got enough fuel to fly away. We've got a garrison. They're trying to raise the alarm. They're not going to be able to. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh, we've got an Intrepid and a Courageous. We're back to beginner level stuff. I could take some heavy weapons, but I'm not going to bother. I'll probably load AP and not use it. I just won't even bother using it. So remember, we're attacking the Intrepid from below or the top to take out the bridge or the fuel tanks. The Courageous we just shoot because it's got no armor and it's terrible. Try and do as much damage as we can before they take off as well. Remember that this ship has the Ever Ready perk, so they start off with a fully loaded ammo magazine. It's very hard to see where your shots are landing, and I want to be quiet while I focus on not getting hit in this fight. I'll maybe make a few comments as we go. So there's the Intrepid. I want to get below it, if you remember, and try and hit the fuel tanks. We'll just dodge these shots as they come out. Oh no, in fact, we'll take every single shot. that's better. We've only taken superficial damage so far, so I'm not too concerned. That's all it takes to take out a Courageous. We'll just dodge this missile. And we'll dodge down to get past these shots. Get him to shoot his own missile just for the fun of it. He's almost gone. If you look at his undercarriage, there's pretty much nothing there anymore. We just crashed into an escape pod. I'm very sorry for that crew. He's massively on fire right now. He's almost out of fuel because we destroyed all his fuel tanks. I've got to say, the 130mm guns on this ship really make it punch well above its weight, and he ran out of fuel. I think his last fuel tank exploded. Took a hit we didn't need to, but that's actually the first fight I've had in a couple of days. We lost 4 crew, and I apologize to the crew of the Lone Badger for my terrible flying when that happened. Which means we might not level up, but I think we're running out of perks anyway. Nope, the Rooster. The Rooster. I've never seen this bug before, but the Rooster just leveled up to level 7. Congratulations to the Rooster. Shame that wasn't the ship that was fighting. We'll take cruising range increase. Let's have a look what we've got. We've got 2 D80 Molots. We've got fuel tanks. Nah, I'm probably not going to have time to get all of these. I'm going to try and take the fuel tanks, and if I don't make it, I don't make it. We'll just finish the looting, I think, just so we don't have to do it at the start of the next video. But that's everything we're going to go through today. So I'm going to grab these fuel tanks, I'm going to grab this Molot, and that's how we're going to finish off. So, not a lot of action in this episode, I know, but we're consolidating everything. The Sevastopol is almost at the Hidden People City. We found our first Hidden City people that gave us so many great gifts, and we're getting our other fleet with a new Tarkhan who's joined us over there as well. So things are looking great. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you're enjoying the series as much as I'm enjoying making it. For those of you who are subscribing, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that I'm in my 6th lockdown, and just that people are, like, I can share something with people, it really means a lot to me. So thank you very much. And I will catch you in the next video.